Okay, so this is just another recording on my game redesign for a Game 101 class. In AXT Chess, something I realized I didn't talk about in my previous videos was that you can have strategies. And this is just basically kind of a short discussion video on the strategies you can have, basically. And there's many interesting strategies you can have in AXT Chess. Essentially, strategies will be based on your cards that you get from your end of turns, your die rolling that you get. Should it be a number between 1 and 3? And that gives a lot of variation for where your strategy can go, how you have to change it throughout the game, and so on. So there's a lot of variation in the gameplay. There's a lot of variables you can't control because the cards are shuffled, introducing your randomness, and then there's a die throw, and it's between 1 and 3. So there's only a 33% chance you get a good number. Now, of course, this can be to your favor sometimes it cannot. For example, someone can play the game, roll the die, and get 3 turns for freezing the opponent's piece. If this happens, that could be a problem as well as a benefit. Here's how. The benefit, temporarily. They can get around them and not have to deal with a unit. Or they can lock that target down and kind of kill the unit and not have to deal with it anymore, and nothing happens. The effect is gone because the piece is gone. The drawback, of course, to having a 3-turn frozen opponent is they can be there and they can be blocking the goal, which means you have to kill them when you finally get in front of the goal, making them a problem. Now, another point of strategy is you can have an extremely well defended goal in the game and make it extremely difficult for your opponent to get to your goal, which at the same time can mean they can kill all of your units and end the game that way. So your strategy is really dependent upon who you're playing against, which means as a player in AXT Chess, you're going to be interested in who your opponent is and what they do on those turns. And same thing going the reverse. If you're on the receiving end of that special fact, you can try and find a strategy to counteract their strategy, causing them to alter their own. And it gets into a very interesting game dynamic this way, and that's because the core of the game is really just a survival slash, kind of like a race to the end, but not really. And the strategies then can be very complex. And in AXT Chess, I do want there to be some complexity to the strategies a player has. And because of that, I think it makes the game very interesting. I hope with AXT Chess, players are not being alienated, player audiences, be it kids or the elderly. Yes, it's possible. I realize this game can be complex in its own way, and right now it's the alpha testing stage, so it's definitely open to be, or it's very likely to be changed, and I'm perfectly happy with that. It's just that, you know, every designer and developer has certain things they really want to keep with the game, and I'm not being stingy here or anything. I'm just saying, hey, I don't mind being critiqued. I just really like what I have right now. So let me know what you think about the strategies. And aside from that, the only other thing I have to say here real quick is that gameplay, if you think it's fun, I'm glad. I think personally you would like it. I think anyone would like to play this game. It's a takeoff of the main well-known game called chess. We're just throwing in some other kind of things in there, reducing attack ranges. You're not allowed to go across the board and kill every single thing in your path, and so on and so on. And there's also the fact we have randomness, we have luck, and chance too. There's a chance you can get to the goal a little bit faster if you double your attack range or something, whatever you have in the game. So I think there's a certain degree of fun to it, and that's my opinion. Aesthetically speaking, there's also the fact that, well, you can have different kinds of art forms, and applied to a table table board game. So I'll quickly show you, go back to the game board. Now this is just what I had before. I'm not deleting or removing anything. Just to make it simple though, I will delete all of these things and go from there. You can see this background, and aesthetically speaking, I don't think it's very well done. I just did a sketch on paper. You know, I plan, as of this video, I plan when I next go to Mason on Monday to, what's next Monday? I think the 6th of June. So I plan to make some changes to this game board design. I plan to make it more aesthetically pleasing. I want AXT Chess to look good, not just be fun. Hopefully, especially for little kids. I know in the Blackboard post, I was reminded that this game can be removing kids from the audience or potential players. That's your opinion, whatever you want. But yeah, so that's pretty much that. And I hope this, was a good discussion on the skill you can do. Actually, no, I didn't talk about skill, but in short, your skill as a player can only become better. It can only improve because it's take off of chess, and chess is skill based. So therefore, this game is pretty much skill-based, and it's skills that you can definitely master. You can master how you shuffle the deck. You can master how you roll the die to get your favored number, which is typically going to be a 3, or if you want a bad luck, you want 1. Then you go from there and you build up your skills and you master it over time. And luck can definitely, go against this. So I'm going to leave it at that. The skill luck discussion. We talked about a little bit strategies, how they can make the game more interesting and keep the players not bored or delay that boredom. And we talked a little bit about aesthetics. So I think I'll leave you to your thoughts and comment if you want to, you like it, and say what you want. Have a good one.